Okay. I'm debating on leaving the background music in. But anyway, I might turn it down a bit. But, I had the most interesting experience today. And with the number of times I've gone on to a job, and I've just been let on just because I have a decently good alibi, has been quite a few number of times. And even without a really good alibi, just saying, yeah, I'm the guy here to do this, and they've never seen me before, it's really interesting. Because I've heard, like, oh, I didn't know you were coming, and I've had access to, like, all kinds of things that I don't necessarily would think you'd necessarily want some rando having access to in, like, restaurants and such. But it's actually quite interesting to me, because today I had 2 Panda Express sites that I went to. And I was just, literally all I was doing was plugging in this water sensor on, strapping it to a pipe, plugging it into the wall, and then noping out of there. So, starting off my day, I go to the UPS sort facility because they can't deliver to a P.O. box for whatever reason. And so I have to go over there, pick up the package that I needed, get this weird look from the gal that was working there that, like, yes, can I help you? And it's literally like me, like, yeah, I've done things before, so I knew where this was, and I figured I'd just come and pick it up, make it easy. Because really there wasn't a good way for me to update a delivery address for that particular parcel. So there's that. Now, I get the sensors, of course. I go to my first location, which is closer to the sort facility. So I show up. I tell the manager there, like, hey, I'm here to add a sensor to the pipe here. She has no idea what's going on. She's new. She doesn't know where the pipes are at or anything. This seems to be a pretty common thing at this point. It's like, I need to know where this is. That seems kind of random. Why would I know where the water main is that enters into the building? Why would I know where the plumbing is in this building? It's not my job to know where that is, even though I'm the manager over this particular shift and facility. So if something goes wrong, I need to know where things are to be able to shut them off. But anyway, so I get in there, I strap the thing to the pipe, figure out the sizing I need and all that for it, plug it in, get the green blinky, ask her another question about, like, hey, what kind of, like, water systems do you have in here, like water filtration and things like that? No idea. Again, it's like, so you dispense a food, but you, like, the most crucial part of food, you don't know the piece for. I'm asking all these prying questions, and she's like, yeah, it's the random dude that's here to strap on a water sensor onto a thing for whatever reason. Okay? So I leave there. I'm in and out of there within like 30 minutes. So I head on over to the next place, down a little further south. This is where things take an interesting turn. As it turns out, this manager has paid attention to her, training. Her like, what is it? Cybersecurity awareness training? Or just in general security awareness training? Like, hey, if a random guy comes in and says he's here to do a thing, you better verify. So while she's calling the regional manager, I go use the bathroom, come back out, regional manager. I get on the phone with him on her phone. He says he's going to call up because he hasn't received an email about this. Or doesn't remember receiving one. Kind of goes up the chain, and I am sitting there waiting for, like, I think it's an hour by this point. Maybe that I'm waiting. Around an hour, yeah, that I'm waiting for now. And at this point, I get an update from the manager on site, and she's like, well, as of now, he hasn't heard anything still. Hasn't received any word back from the person above him. So I'm just sitting there waiting, basically. So I decide I'm going to go out to the car, I'm going to grab a couple things, and then the manager on site comes out and says, hey, I've got a phone number that you need to call that said you need to call that before I can let you through and verify this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay. So I call the number, and the dude on the other end is confused why I'm calling that number. And I'm like, well, this is the number I was told to call you at by the manager, and she gave me your number to call. And I thought it was kind of weird, because I'm like, is that? So, because he's only tech support for like location stuff and to make sure things are working properly. So I sit there and talk with him a little bit. It's like, they told me, I was told that I was supposed to call you, and to verify that I'm supposed to be here. And he's like, well, if the manager got my number from corporate, then you're definitely supposed to be there because they know what's going on. And yeah, if the regional manager says, no, don't go, then we're going to have to reschedule another visit. They're going to have to pay for another visit. But you're supposed to be there because you've got the number here through them and that. So after I finally get off the phone with him, after like the rigmarole of like making sure everything's clear and telling her that like, hey, he said because of the channels you got the number through, that verifies that I'm supposed to be here. And so she's like, okay, well, you know how it goes, like verifying this, that, and the other. And it's like, all the way through, I was like, this is actually pretty good. This is like the first time I've been on a job in like months where when they haven't had any communication, they've gone through the channels to verify that I am there for a reason and that I was hired to be there. I had like all the documentation for her. I showed her the same documentation as I showed the other manager, and she's like, I still have to call and verify because one, my boss is gonna yell at me if I just let you in without any making sure that he knows what's up or that everything's going through correctly. It's like, you know what? That's fair. In fact, I appreciate that because I've been on to a lot of jobs and this is the first time it's happening like this. And then I even told the regional manager, it's like, as a cybersecurity guy, I actually appreciate that you're doing that because it's like tells me that like you're actually trying to do your job properly. And so I ended up being on site there for a total of an hour and 40 minutes. Just because of the need to go up and down the channels to make sure that I'm there when I'm supposed to be. So, needs be to say, it's pretty cool that the Panda is the one that came in and showed me the what for and didn't just let me walk in and waltz all over the place willy-nilly. So, I wish I could see this a little bit more where the communication could have been better. I've been on a few jobs where the communication was really good and I was able to work with them really well, so the people knew I was coming and other things like that. And so it was just like there, and there. Whereas with this, they basically called up and said, hey, this guy's here. I heard no way, no how of it. Like, even on other jobs where it's like, we didn't know exactly when you were coming, but yeah, we did hear about it. Let me just call the guy to make sure to check in with him. And it was kind of more like that, where the communication was a little bit better. It still went pretty smooth, and they still like, hey, the guy's here, and this, that, and the other. But when the communication was like absolutely poor, it sucked. And I don't know what to tell you about it, but there have been enough jobs that I've been on where they haven't verified anything and they just let me go wherever I wanted to, that it is kind of worrying. And this one kind of gave me more hope in humanity this time. If you liked the content, you enjoyed it, if you think I deserve it, like, comment, subscribe, leave any criticisms you have or what have you. I appreciate it. Feed that algorithm, like I said, and I will see you guys in the next one.